10 things film school didn't teach you and can't teach you, right? If you've gone to film school, you've paid to do a 2-year diploma course or a 3-year bachelor degree in film. When you leave, a lot of people can feel disheartened, like it was all for nothing. And let me assure you, it wasn't all for nothing. There will be people out there who tell you, oh, don't go to college, don't go to film school. Look, there is value in it, and it does help. It can let you hone your skills as an editor, even as a filmmaker, understanding, how to frame a shot. It helps completely. Film school helps a lot, but it's not the only way to get in the industry, and it's not really a pathway into the industry. It's a pathway to knowledge. It's a pathway to becoming a better filmmaker, which then helps in the long run. But when you finish film school, don't expect to have a bunch of movie offers and be the next Todd Phillips 2 years after graduating film school. It's not going to happen, okay? It's just not going to happen. So I wanted to make a video on 10 things film school doesn't teach you that you need to know when going into the film industry. Now, first one, it's not really what they don't teach you, but it's just a heads up as to what the culture is at film school. Now, in my opinion, I'm just generalizing here. Of course, I don't know every film school. I'm going to get comments like my film school is different, but this is just a generalization for most, and it is that film school breeds a culture of high-end filmmaking and high-budget filmmaking, but of course, that's not where you start. That's not where you can start as a videographer, a filmmaker in the world. You're not going to start off with $100,000 worth of equipment. But when you go to film school, you are offered, Red cameras. You're offered these $50,000 cameras, the best editing software, the best sound software, a bunch of other students in your class who can then come and help on the project for free because you're all in school together. So you get someone to do your slate, you get someone to do the audio, you get someone else to do the editing. And it kind of creates this culture of this is how filmmaking needs to be done, this is how it's done. And if you were to do that in the real world, you would need $100,000. And most people don't have $100,000 in their pocket that they can just throw at a project. Now, when you get started in the real life film industry and when you first leave film school, you're not going to have that kind of money, especially because you went to film school, you spent money to go there, you've lost money. So now it's all about how you can make something cheaply, how you can make something on a really small budget. And that's not what film school will really teach you. You get the skills on how to frame something, which works on any camera you use, from a $50 camera to a $50,000 camera. You get the skills on how to edit, which works on editing software you can save up and pay for, like Premiere Pro or DaVinci. So you learn those skills, but you don't learn, I guess, how you can make a film on a really small budget, which is something I recommend you should really put a lot of focus into, because your first 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 projects that you do will probably be on a really small budget. And when I say really small, I mean anywhere between $0 to $500, and that's going to be like your maximum for your first couple of videos. It was for me. If you're lucky enough to have a lot more money, disposable income, that is great. Use it, because if you can, and it won't put you in any financial struggle, use it, because the more money, the better, I think, for filming. Of course, you can make really good projects for low money, but if you have more money to spend, use it. It'll make it a high quality production. But that's one heads up I wanted to give about film school, is that it does breed a culture of this is how you make a film, but when you leave, you don't have $100,000 to make that film. So now a second thing I wanted to talk about is that you aren't taught how to get clients and how to get videos that will pay the bills. Now, when you're in film school, your project, let's say, will be to make a short film. You can write whatever you want, tell whatever story you want. But at the end of the day, when you leave film school, most people aren't going to pay you to just create whatever the hell you please, right? It's not like you can leave school and be Guy Ritchie straight away. You need to do certain videos to pay the bills, whether that's wedding videos, whether that's dance school videos, whether that is commercials for a small cafe in your neighborhood, or a music video. Whatever it is, you need to do videos for other people, and you need to be a sort of more of a videographer than a filmmaker at first in order to get the ball rolling and get money out there and build your production company. Now, that's something you don't learn in film school at all. When you're in film school, you can make whatever you want. You can team up with your friends. You can write stories and write stuff like, oh my God, this is what's going to get us to the big time. But there are steps you need to take when you leave film school in order to get to the point where you can then create what you want. Quentin Tarantino didn't come out of film school, write whatever movie he wanted, the next year put it out and made a bunch of money. That's not how it works. You've got to hone your skills, you've got to do videos for other people, or you got to get a job within the film industry, a small budget job where you get paid a little bit of money and you can start your production company moving forward, and that's probably the smartest way to work. Now, don't get disheartened when you hear this, because it's only going to be a year or two. I think if you really hustle, you really put in the work and make videos for other people, it's only going to take about a year or two to get enough under your belt where you're at a point you can create some stuff and people are going to want to pay, people are going to get involved, people will fund your films. Now that is important. It's only going to be a year, 2, or maybe 3, and that's not a long time in the grand scheme of things. So just, if you're really into this filmmaking thing, you want to be a filmmaker, understand that it's going to take some time and it's not going to come straight away. It's going to take 2 or 3 years, but in the long run, that pays dividends, right? So now, 3. It's sort of outdated in the filming that they teach you how to do. They'll teach you how to make documentaries, maybe commercials, short films, maybe even a feature film. But what they won't teach you is the modern day filming. You know, a lot of filmmakers out there, probably 90%, are doing what I like to call modern day filmmaking. That is having a YouTube channel, right? A lot of filmmakers are out there doing tutorials on YouTube, you know, posting vlogs or, music videos. That is the sort of modern day filmmaking. While you want to, the end goal, for me, the end goal is being able to make feature films, being a director, being a screenwriter. That is the end goal, but it's not where you can start. You don't just waltz into Warner Brothers and tell them, hey, I want to make a movie, give me $100 million. I am, I'm the next Christopher Nolan. That's not how it works. You're going to have to get started on what I call small modern day filmmaking. Music videos, like I said, vlogs, YouTube channel. I recommend a YouTube channel to any filmmaker because it allows you to grow a platform that you then can release your videos and get to a point where you can get paid on YouTube. I'm not at that point yet, but I'm working towards there. I'm halfway there to being able to monetize my channel and start getting paid as a filmmaker for doing what I enjoy. Now, that's something I recommend, and that's something film school does not teach you at all. So you're going to have to understand that when you go to film school, you're going to learn how to make proper movies, but you're not going to learn about how to make the films that I guess will pay the bills when you first leave, when you first start, and will keep the lights on in your house and keep you fed. That is something you guys have to know about. If you go there expecting to learn how to do this, you'll be shocked when you find out they still don't teach you these things, which I think they should, but film school's not at that point yet. Now, the next thing I wanted to let you guys know about is that you're not really taught how to network in the film industry. Now, you may have a class on how to network where they tell you, do this, talk to this person, but you don't actually meet any of these people. You don't actually get those networks. So knowing that you need to network doesn't really help. Like everyone knows they need a network, but it's about do you actually have the network or not? So you can network with your classmates, which is super helpful because when you leave, you can team up and film stuff together. But at the end of the day, you're going to have to start networking with people within the industry. And you're not taught that at film school. That is taught through experience. That is taught through life. So if you go to film school expecting to graduate and then be in the film industry, it's not going to happen because you get in the film industry through networking. So you've got to start making videos yourself, put in that 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, like I keep saying, and then you'll start building a small network, maybe some faster than others, and you'll grow that way. You network through life. You don't network through film school. So just a heads up before you pay money to go to film school, it's not going to get you in the industry because you need a network to get in the film industry like any other job. Now, the next one is I think there's not enough focus on writing. I think when you go to film school, there's so much more focus on the editing component, the filming component, but they don't really critique your writing as much, and that's super important if you want to be a filmmaker. Now, to get started just as a director or just as a cinematographer can happen, but I think if you can write, it's just going to be better because then you can create your own work. Writers create the film, not, I guess, if you're just strictly a director. Most directors can write, but if you're just a director, you need to get hired. If you're just a cinematographer, you need to get hired. If you're just an actor, you need to be hired. But if you're a writer, you can create anything you want. So if you're at film school, that is great. If you're thinking about going to film school, that's great. Go if you want to, but understand you need to put work in on your writing skills to be a better writer so you can write movies that you can then go out and film, and you create your own opportunity, you create your own work. That is the beauty of writing. So focus on that, because film school will not do enough of it for you. Now, the next one is pricing yourself and your videos. Like I've said, when you come out of film school, you're going to have to do videos for other people. And so you need to learn how to price yourself. So film school probably won't teach you how to price yourself. It's going to be more on the creative component. So I recommend is putting in a lot of time into having a business plan, understanding how you're going to price yourself. Of course, don't price yourself $1,500 a day when you're just starting. You're probably worth $250. So put in work to figure out what your pricing is and what you think you should be pricing yourself as. I'm thinking about doing a video on this, so leave a comment if you think I should do a video on this, because I think I probably should and I will in the future. But put in time and effort to figuring out your pricing strategy, and so you can leave and start making money when you graduate film school. Now, another thing film school doesn't teach you is how to start a production company. They don't teach you how to make a business plan. They teach you so much about the creative part, but at the end of the day, creativity must meet business, and you must have a sort of business cap. Like, I like to think I have two caps. You know, I wake up in the morning, if I'm creating something, I put on that creative cap, that director's cap, and I'm there focusing on the creative. But what I also need to be able to do is put on that business cap and understand that, okay, I need to live, I need to stay alive, I need to finance my videos. How am I going to grow? How am I going to start my production company? Which is what I've done with Wongamar Productions. I then have a production company that is attached to any project that I film that is creative. Music videos, short films for others, my own short films, documentaries I make. That is all on my production company. So put in time and effort into figuring out a business plan. This is more so if you've graduated film school, if you're going to skip film school. When you're there, enjoy your holiday, enjoy learning the creativity, but understand at some point you're going to have to learn that business acumen, and you're going to have to go out and make a business plan and start your production company. Finally, what they don't teach you is how to raise money in an effective way. Newsflash, movies are a business. Movies are all a cash grab. That is just the nature of the movie industry. It's an industry, you need to make money, and you need to finance a video and then have everyone get return on their investment and make money back. So that is something they probably don't really touch on in most film schools. So understand that when you leave, you're going to have to find smart ways to finance your own films, whether that's your own money, whether that's from a job that you work, whether that's from doing car washes, whether that's from finding investors who at the beginning will be your parents, uncles, friends, cousins, family, friends of friends. That's going to be the way you're going to finance your early work. So figure out how you're going to finance, because film school will not teach you how you can get investors. Now, those are just 10 things that I think film school don't teach you that they probably should, but a heads up that they don't, just to give you guys an idea of what you're not going to learn at film school, so that if you are thinking of going, you're in it for the right reasons and you don't waste money, because I think that's really important and really sad, is that people waste money going to film school thinking they will learn all this extra stuff, and they don't. They just learn how to make a movie, and while that is really good and really useful, it's pointless without these other things, without the financing part, without the business part. At the end of the day, it's all a business. So understand you're not going to learn all of this at film school.